What is the biggest hurdle to purchasing a house? Saving up for the down payment. What if I told you you would have to save no money down to purchase a house?
That's suspicious.
You do need to save some funds, but IHCDA has a program, the First Place program, which is a down payment assistance program that is made to help first-time buyers purchase a house and help with that hurdle. I'm going to get into the specifics, talk about the eligibility for that. There's a couple other programs that I'm going to mention that I didn't mention in the last video, and that's because some of these programs are discontinued after the grant money dries up. So coming up, we'll talk about the First Place program for future first-time home buyers. Welcome back to our channel, Living in Fort Wayne. My name is Noe Dials. I'm a real estate agent here with Keller Williams. Me and my wife, Francesca, we help people move to, from, and around Fort Wayne. We also have Rachel Ingalls that helps us to help people with consultations, pointing them in the right directions to help them relocate to Fort Wayne. But if you live here, we help people that live here as well. We moved here a couple years ago. We never heard of the city of Fort Wayne, never even thought about the state of Indiana. So I made this channel to bring a little bit more information about the things to do around here, what it's like, people that are living here. So let people know, hey man, this is a great place. It's super affordable. I talk about how affordable Fort Wayne is. And now with the affordable market, which is, the median home price across the nation is around about $465,000. The median here is $225,000. The average price is $265,000. I don't want to jump into the median and the average, but $225,000, $265,000 is still much less than the national average. So in an affordable market, you still have the ability to get a down payment assistance program. This down payment assistance program, this particular one, First Place, identifies two counties in this area: Allen County, which is Fort Wayne, New Haven, parts of Huntertown, and some smaller towns to the south. And then you also have Grant County. So if you're moving to those areas or you're purchasing a property for your primary residence, you're eligible in Allen County and Grant County. That's Marion. So what are the eligibility requirements? 640 credit score. The 640 credit score, if you have a 640 credit score, great. If you don't have a 640 credit score, some of the lenders will put you on an action plan to help you prepare and tell you what you need to do to get that credit score up. I don't want to get into that because I'm not a financial advisor. Number two, your debt to income has to be below 45%. So debt to income, I'm gonna jump into debt to income really quickly. I talked about this in my last video. A lot of people may not understand fully what a debt to income is. I like to use $60,000 annually. So that's $5,000 a month. If you have $2,500 of recurring debt a month, that's too high, right? So how do you calculate recurring debt? They're gonna pull your credit report. On your credit report, the biggest debt that most Americans have is their car note. Average car note is about $600, okay? The second largest recurring debt for most consumers is cumulative credit card debt. So let's say you have 4 credit cards and you pay $100 a month on each credit card. That's $400 plus your car note, 6 and 4, that's $1,000. So you have $1,000 recurring debt. Keep in mind that $2,500 is half of $5,000. So if your recurring debt is $1,000, well, that's significantly under that threshold. You could be eligible for the program. And then the third largest recurring debt for most Americans is student loans. So as long as you have less than 45%, you could be eligible. They go upwards of 50%, but you have to have a 680 credit score. Let's talk about the income requirements. A lot of people think, okay, well, if it's a down payment assistance program, it's probably for people who have low income. Well, IHCDA, they set the income guideline. The top threshold is $86,800. So if you make less than $87,000, you could be eligible for the program. Now keep in mind, this is for one borrower, not household. So if one borrower makes $60,000 and the other borrower makes, let's say, $80,000, combined you make $140,000. They're just going to use one borrower. And again, talking to the lender, they can walk you through what's the best way to go about this, because the borrower that's purchasing the property, that's going to be the income to potentially purchase the property. Now let's talk about the property. Again, it must be a primary residence. It must be located in Allen County, and it has to be under $57,000. So $457,000 is a large number. You have to make a significant income to purchase a $450,000 property. But think about it. Here in Fort Wayne, the luxury market starts at $500,000. So $400,000. So $400,000 goes a long way in our market. I mean, you can pretty much buy anything that you want for $400,000, Fort Wayne, Indiana. So you can see why this is so powerful. Keep in mind also that veterans are eligible for this program as well. This one, definitely you would need a consultation on this because I'm a veteran. I use my VA loan, which was $0 down. This program, and this goes for non-VA buyers, potential buyers, you will use an FHA loan. So an FHA loan comes along with a PMI. So let's touch into PMI really quickly. If you heard the term PMI, you may or may not know what that is. That's your primary mortgage insurance. And I'm going to try to say this without butchering it, but essentially, if you owe more than 80% of the purchase price on the property, then you have to get insurance. You have to get primary mortgage insurance in the event that you default. This is something that the federal government put in place to protect against the housing market crash that we had back in 2007 when too many people defaulted. Those lenders lost a lot of money. So for the sake of math, let's say it's a $200,000 house and you put 10% down, which is $20,000, you owe 180. So you owe 90% of the principal balance. Once you get below 180, then you don't have to pay PMI. So an FHA loan comes along with PMI, which leads me to something else, which is called the Home Manager Program. This is something they just rolled out. I was just at the forum that IHCDA hosted for realtors here in Allen County. There weren't a lot of realtors there, and I actually have other realtors call me ever since I went, and they asked me for the information from the forum because a lot of realtors don't know, and also they're not aware that there's only a few lenders that participate in this program. I'm not exactly sure why. Maybe they just want to use local banks. Again, we always advise that you use a local bank because it's much easier for many reasons. But IHCDA, they put on this forum to help realtors understand all the programs and all the little nuances of the program. Again, I can't go into all the details. I'm only highlighting these programs. But the new program that they just rolled out, the Home Manager Program, actually gives down payment assistance and no PMI. So that's really powerful for potential first-time home buyers to keep that mortgage payment at a workable rate. And again, you combine that with the cost of living here and the affordable home prices, you really still have the opportunity to move into the American dream. So those people who are relocating, and for those people relocating to Fort Wayne, I think this is even more important because if you live in Indiana, some people in Indiana don't know about this program. If you don't live in Indiana, you definitely probably never heard of this program. And you are moving here, if your employer isn't giving you a stipend or an advance to help you move, you already have costs associated with moving. You want to keep as much money in your pocket as possible. I would imagine that this is something that you would love to sit and talk to participating lenders about. If this is something that you would be interested in, I have a guide. I basically compiled all the information from the First Place program, the Next Home program, and the MCC, which I'm not really going to get into because they are going to discontinue that program at the end of September. Unless you're watching this video right when it airs, most people won't get a home by the time they can use that particular program. Feel free to reach out to me, myself, or Francesca. We also have Rachel that's going to help us out to help people move here. As we move into the fall months, I can tell you that with the market trend, the peak of the market is the summer. So we are at the end of summer, school has started. If you're moving in between August and December, we do have more homes going to the market because new construction homes, they're still completing them. You have less buyers on the market, so this actually will be a pretty good time to potentially find a house between now and Christmas. Also, after we turn past the new year in the beginning of 2024, in between January and Memorial Day. After Memorial Day is when everything kind of goes fast. So if you're seeing this video in between that time frame, this will be a good opportunity to contact that bank, contact that lender. They can get you on an action plan to prepare you to get a property, get that down payment assistance, and I think it'll be super helpful. So if you found this video helpful, you can go back to this other video that I did where I talked about the Next Home program a little bit. I talked about the mortgage credit a little bit, and I'll see you there.